Alright, welcome back to Every Day I Race. This is going to be video number 6 for the suspension. We're going to use all the information that we used in video 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We finally get to figure out exactly what spring to use on the bike. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put all the information on the chart. That way it's really simple to understand. So let's get started.
Alright, so first we gotta remember total weight of a empty motorcycle was 405 pounds. It was 250 pounds on the front and 155 pounds on the rear. Rider's weight is 195 pounds. Motorcycle plus the rider is 600 pounds. It's 355 pounds on the front and 245 pounds in the back. Motion ratio is wheel travel over shock travel, so it's 7.5 over 2 equals to 3.75. Unsprung weight plus half of hybrid weight is 37 pounds. Alright, next I'm going to draw a graph to make it real simple to see exactly where I'm coming up with all the numbers. So on the left, up and from down to up, it's going to be a weight of the motorcycle in pounds, and on the bottom from left to right, it's going to be wheel travel in inches. Okay, next I'm going to need a weight of the motorcycle with the rider at the rear wheel minus unsprung weight, which was 37 pounds. So we take 245, we take 37 out of it, we come up with 208 pounds. Okay, so I want my sag with me on the bike to be, I want the rear wheel to travel 1 inch when I'm sitting on the bike and applying 208 pounds of force. So I drew a dot that's right between 208 pounds and 1 inch of wheel travel. Okay, next I needed to calculate maximum weight on the bike while the bike is accelerating right before the front wheel comes up. Should be motorcycle plus rider total weight of 600 pounds minus unsprung weight of 37 pounds. So we take 600 minus 37 pounds, we come up with 463 pounds. So now I drew a dot right between 563 pounds and maximum wheel travel of 7.5 inches, because I want my suspension to travel as much as possible to get the best traction. Okay, now we can calculate a wheel rate. Since we know the maximum weight we're going to be applying on the rear wheel is 563 pounds and the minimum weight is 208 pounds, I take 563 and I take 208 out of it, so I come up with 355 pounds. Next, I need to find out how much the wheel would actually move. So I take the maximum, which is a 7.5 inches, and I take out what I'm going to be using with the sag, which is 1 inch. So I have 6.5 inches of travel when I'm sitting on the bike, either stationary or racing. Then all I have to do is we take the maximum weight, which is 355 pounds, and we divide it by the amount of wheel travel. So we come up with 54.6 pounds per inch. That's our wheel rate. Okay, since I just calculated my wheel rate, it's time to convert it to spring rate. And to convert spring rate, all we have to do is take the wheel rate of 54.6 pounds per inch and multiply it by our motion ratio squared. So we take 54.6 pounds per inch and we multiply it by 3.75 squared. And our spring rate ends up being 767.8 pounds per inch. This is the spring that I'm going to be using on the bike. Alright, next we need to find out the spring preload on the spring. So I drew the line all the way down where wheel travel is 0, and on the graph it looks like it's right around 150 pounds. That would be the weight on the wheel. So to convert that to find out spring preload, all we have to do is we have to take that 150 pounds and multiply it by a motion ratio, which is 3.75. So we end up with 562.5 pounds per inch of spring preload.
Okay, so we just calculated that we're going to need a spring with a spring rate of 767.8 pounds per inch spring rate. And we're going to need 562.5 pounds of preload on it. So now you have to order correct spring. Like this spring is 7.5 inches and the shock has about 1.5 inches of adjustment. So since we're going to need a 562.5 pounds of preload on the 667.8 pound per inch spring, we can find out how much, what the distance to compress the spring for the preload. All you have to do is take 562.5 and divided by 767.8 comes up to 0.73. That means that if we got the 7.5 inch spring, we're gonna have to compress it 0.73 of an inch. So it's gonna be about 3/4 of an inch. So the spring's going to be right around here. So we're going to have to turn this color till the spring, the outer edge, is right in this area. And you will have to order correct spring. Like let's take this spring for example. This is a 814 pound per inch spring, but it would not work on the shock because it's too short. You won't have enough room to put any preload on the shock. So the shock on the spring, so the spring would just be loose. So if you order the spring that's too short, you won't be able to put the preload on it, correct preload, even though the spring rate of the spring is correct. If you order the spring that's too long, by the time you barely get it in here, you might have too much preload, and once again it's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order the same spring, 7.5 inches long, but I'm going to order a spring with the spring rate of 767.8 pounds per inch, and it's going to work just fine. I'm also going to have to revalve this shock because the heavier the spring on the shock, the more damping the shock is going to have. So basically the shock's gonna have to be a lot stronger. So, and that pretty much covers what you have to do to get correct shock spring for your bike. So thank you for watching, and come back for more updates.